growing, and it's mid-November and I'm here on the garden, and it's kind of very mild but a bit murky and grey today. So we're going to start with this week's packs, and not a lot to sow this time of year, so we've decided to focus on perennials and hardy annuals. So the first plant we're going to start with is California poppy, which is this one here. So here's what it's going to look like. It's got this lovely orangey yellow flower next spring and through into the summer, and it's a hardy perennial, so it should stand the winter quite well. The first thing we're going to do is have a look and see if we need to repot it. So you can see it's filled its pot, you can see the roots here, so it's not desperate, but I am going to put it into a bigger pot. So I've got actually I'm going to do it into the next size up, which is this one. So I'm not going to disturb this at all. I'll put a bit of compost in the bottom, put my poppy in the middle. These are really good wildlife plants, so they'll be really good for insects. That's the children playing in the woods, so you might be able to hear them. So that's our California poppy. Okay, so next what we've got is an oriental poppy. So this is a perennial poppy, Papavia orientale, and I don't know if ours is ladybird, but it looks very similar to this. So these are from plants that we've grown in our flower borders here, and we've just divided them the past few weeks, and they grow really quickly. They're really hardy, they're really easy plant to grow. These are the ones that we've propagated. So once you've got these, they should form a clump. They'll soon clump up, and then you should, you know, have them in your garden for a long time. They're quite easy to grow and not very fussy. So again, the first thing we're going to do, and some of these are more advanced than others, so you might not need to repot yours just yet, but we're going to have a look. Oh, look how quickly that's grown. So yeah, I'm going to get that into a bigger pot, and that's slightly deeper, so that one will do. So these will flower probably next June, I would think, if you look after them well. So that's that one done. So they just want to water both of them with a fine rose. And then finally in your pack, you should have a small packet of it'll say pea shoots. So what you've got in your packet are just these dried peas. So they're like dried mushy, what you use for mushy peas. So the first thing you need to do with these is to soak them. So peas have got like a really hard skin. So the longer you can soak them, it softens them up and it makes them germinate a lot quicker. So pea shoots, for some of you who were on the scheme last year will remember them. So we're going to grow them as a microgreen. So we're not growing them as pea plants, we're just growing them for the small shoots. And these microgreens are a really good thing to do over the winter months. And you can do them on a windowsill inside, because they need a bit of warmth. So I'm just going to use these like mushroom punnets. You just have to make sure whatever you use that it's got holes in the bottom for drainage. So I'm just going to put a bit of compost, not too much, in the bottom of my tray. And then I'm going to get my peas. Would have been better if I'd soaked these overnight, but and I'm just going to spread them around. probably enough. I put a little bit of compost over them. They don't need to be totally covered. And then I'm going to press them down. Should have a label somewhere. Pea shoots. And these are my labels that I've made from an old Venetian blind that I found. Cut them up. So gardening's not all about buying things and spending money. Improvise. So we'll give them a bit of a drink. And if you are putting them on a windowsill, you might want to put another one with a bit of grit in so it's not running all over your windowsill. So I think what I'm going to do with these ones, I'm going to use another one to make a little propagator like that, and I'm going to try these in the propagator. I'm probably going to do some more to take home with me to do on a sunny windowsill, and then we'll see, we'll compare. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be warm enough in here for them, but we'll try it. And we'll just have a quick look at some of the other plants that we've grown. So everything's doing all right. Angelica, got some new growth on it. Black leaf parsley, that's kind of ready to be harvested, some of this. This is the most pampered cabbage in Nottinghamshire. Cabbage in a pot. So I could, if I wanted, take some of these bigger leaves off and eat them. And then let the other ones replace them, so I think that'd be a good thing to do. This is my winter lettuce, which is kind of growing well, but it has got a little bit sort of rotted off now. I'm going to take that leaf off, and something has been eating it a little bit. But again, with these ones, you could just be taking a few leaves off as and when you want to eat them, and they should regenerate. They look okay. Jacob's ladder's still quite tiny. I don't think that's look underneath, but yeah, I can't see any roots there. That's not ready for anything doing yet. And Nottingham catchflies just sort of steadily, they'll just grow very slowly through the winter, probably won't need a lot doing with them. The land cress again, I mean probably that could do with a bigger pot, but I haven't got one to hand, I don't think, big enough. But again, with this one you could just keep taking off a few leaves as and when you want them. And the sweet peas haven't germinated yet. The broad beans, I mean, they're romping away a bit too much really. So I think what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to pinch out the tips and try and get them to bush out a bit. But I think they've been a bit pampered in here, to be honest. We've got ones that have been planted outside that look a lot healthier. The rosemary's not doing very much. And the hollyhock. So have a look at the hollyhock, and I know they grow really quickly, so look underneath, and that's, yeah, that's ready for a new pot. This nice twig one. Hollyhock's the biennial, so it should flower next year. So just wanted to show you, there was a few questions about your chrysanthemums and dahlias that were in your previous packs and people asking what to do with them. So what we've done with ours over here, there are different things you can do with dahlias. Some people, so our dahlias were in the ground outside and they were about come to a finish, and they're sort of frost tender really, so I decided to lift them from the ground. And some people save the tubers, sort of dry them out, a bit like you might do with tulip bulbs. But I've never really had much success with that, probably because I haven't got a good place to do that. So what I tend to do is to put them into pots. So we've got these pots here, so we put them into pots and we've cut them down. And then that usually works, and sort of later in the spring, because they don't come until they're a later sort of season. When it starts warming up next year, they should shoot into life. And these ones here are our chrysanthemums, which again were outside. So that's these ones, they've got some new growth on them there. So what we've done with these, again, these were in the ground, so we've potted them on and we've cut the stalks right down to encourage this new growth. And then probably what I will do, when there is lots of new growth, is I would take some cuttings from them. Although you could replant these next year, but the cuttings are usually better. So, and the last thing that I wanted to show you is outside, but it was just to sort of tell you that although there's not like lots of seeds you can sow at this time of year, you could still be taking cuttings and propagating from root division, which I might show you some of that in the next video. So I was going to show you what some of our volunteers have been doing. So we've got lots of plants here that we've got some little sedums. You might see a little bit, there's a little bit of the new growth there. So we've divided them. So that was from dividing the roots up of perennials. And we've got some ornamental grasses and some heucheras. And these are our cuttings, hebes and various hollies and bits and bobs. And then at the end there, these were the more recent oriental poppies. So we did these the other day. So this is like what yours would have come from, and they don't look very promising at this stage, but they've got a nice bit of root attached. And then we cut the leaves down, and you can see already there's like new growth coming up there, and they won't take long at all. So yeah, have a go. And if you want to come down to the garden to experiment taking cuttings or propagating, then you're very welcome. Okay, thanks for watching, and please let us know how you're getting on our Facebook page. Okay, bye.